I've covered Qwen Chat on this channel multiple times earlier, and every single time this model has impressed me immensely. And they have a new release, and it's called QwQ, which is a thinking model. So on Twitter, this is their release. Today, we release QwQ32B, our new reasoning model with only 32 billion parameters that rivals cutting edge reasoning model, example, DeepSeek R1. And this is the benchmark score. And you can see that it is almost on par or doing better than DeepSeek R1 or any other model in this benchmark graph. I've never really bothered much about the benchmark scores, but apparently people like to see that. But let's try it out. So in the Qwen chat, you can actually, even if you're selecting Qwen 2.5 Max, you can click on this button to make it thinking QwQ by just clicking on this one, this button. That will allow you to turn it into a thinking model. So if you want to select this model, QwQ32B, you can do that as well. So we'll test both of those. I'm going to set it to Qwen 2.5 Max and leave it at thinking QwQ. Okay. I'm also going to make sure that artifact is on. Remember the last time I created a video on Qwen chat, this artifact feature was a bit of a bug. And I was taking the code from here and putting it in code view it to view the code because the artifact was buggy. So let's see if they fixed it, or if otherwise we'll visualize the code again in code view it. So let's give, because it's a thinking model, I'm going to give this prompt. Let's give something for it to think. Make a cosmic perspective generator that takes any mundane problem I input and reframes it with increasingly astronomical context. For example, I'm out of coffee to in a universe with 200 billion galaxies, one primate on a tiny blue dot temporarily lacks access to roasted plant seeds. So something ridiculous. So let's see what it does. It's quite funny. Okay, the artifact is on and this is the thinking, and this is what I wanted to actually check. See what the thinking process is. Let's read it. Okay, let's tackle this cosmic perspective generator idea. The user wants a web page where they can input a mundane problem and get a reframed version with astronomical twist. Okay. First, I need to figure out the structure. It should have an input field, a button to trigger the transformation, and a place to display the result. Okay, so the HTML part is straightforward. All right. Wait, the example given starts with an inner universe with 200 billion galaxies. So maybe the script should prepend a similar structure each time. Okay, so it's created. So the coding is done and we have the artifact working, which is a good thing. Let's enter this problem. I'm tired of sitting idle. Expand the perspective. In a universe spanning 93 billion light years, a momentary arrangement of atoms, a temporary consciousness experiences tired of sitting idle. All right, so it stuck to our original example and didn't invent something, which is okay, especially this is a single prompt. So let's try a few other things. Okay, I'm going to try this one. I'll copy this and let's go here and create a new chat, and I am going to do this. And this time around, I'm going to actually select QwQ32B here. Make sure that this is thinking QwQ, and let's click on the artifact. Create a virtual plant that responds to user interaction. It grows when given attention, wilts when neglected, and develops unusual characteristics like changing colors or growing odd appendages based on different types of interaction. Okay, let's see. So it's by default, I think it is creating the code in HTML. So, okay, the user wants to, okay, fine, the HTML structure. I'll need a canvas element to draw the plant, maybe add some controls like buttons for watering and sunlight, but the user mentioned interactions. So maybe using mouse events instead. Wait, the user didn't specify buttons. So perhaps it's better to have the plant respond to mouse clicks or proximity. But the initial idea might be simpler with buttons. So I don't think it'll create any buttons. Okay, that's good. Okay, all right. So we have this in the, okay, what is happening? I don't know what is happening. I'm clicking. Oh, 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 wow. But what am I actually doing here? It's a growing plant. It doesn't look like a plant. What is it? Sun? Oh, wait. Why? Okay, click and it will grow. Oh, oh, as I move the mouse, something, whatever it is, it's doing something. I don't know what it is actually doing, but yeah, I think it understood the assignment. Let's try one more thing. Let's go with this one. New chat. Design a procrastinator calculator that estimates how much time I'll actually waste before starting a task based on task importance, deadline proximity, and my self reported motivation level. I'll click on artifact and let's run it. So the thought process is interesting because you get an idea of what it is actually doing. And these are all, if you have noticed, these are all very simple prompts, like straightforward. It has a little bit of sarcastic, fun element to it, but it will allow the model to actually think because it's not straightforward. And I just wanted to see what it can create with just 2 lines of prompt. These are not detailed prompts. So after this, we'll do one thing. We'll actually give a slightly more detailed prompt so that we can see if there is any difference at all. So let's see here, we have a procrastination calculator. So it has task importance, deadline proximity, motivation level. All right, what is this? I don't know. Anyways, critical, must be done immediate. Okay, let's do one thing with low, not urgent. And let's say it is next week. Okay. Motivation level, I'm just going to say 4 and calculate wasted. Oh, that is for the result. All right. You will likely waste 11.2 hours. What is the context for this? Okay, so let's look at the thinking pattern here. First, I'll need input fields for each factor. Importance can be a drop down with options like critical, important, moderate. Each option can have a numerical value that affects the calculation. Maybe critical is 1, important is 2, etc. Then deadline proximity. How soon is the deadline? Option like today, tomorrow, this week, next week. Okay, each of these would have a weight. For example, today might have a lower weight because if the deadline is today, there is less time for procrastination. Okay, fine. Let's do one thing. Let's actually contradict the whole thing. So let's do one thing. The motivation level is really, really low and the deadline is today. Okay, and it's critical. Let's see what will happen now. So you will likely waste 1 hour before starting because the motivation level is really, really low. Okay, fine. So let's do one thing. Let's try something more complicated. This time around, I am going to use Qwen Max and thinking. We will use the artifact. I'm going to get the prompt from here. Okay, I'm going to copy it from there, bring it here. What are we creating? We're creating an indecision visualizer that helps users make choices by mapping out every possible consequence of multiple options, but with increasingly absurd and improbable branching out paths. So I've given it a little bit of details and I'm going to run it and see what happens. So this time it's a little bit more detailed than earlier. I mean, it's not significantly more detailed, but it has a little bit more context than the earlier prompts that I gave. So I think with the thinking model, it should do a better job. I'm not a big fan of thinking models being better at coding. For some reason, I just feel like it's probably very good at the first result that you get from a prompt. And then after that, it's just better to go back to a regular model. And that's my experience with everything. Even when you're working with Claude 3.7 Sonnet, I would start with the thinking model and then I'll go back to the regular 3.7 model without the thinking. Wow, it's still thinking. It's still thinking. It's been thinking for a long time now. Let's see. Is there a time frame somewhere that it's mentioning? No, it's not. But it's been thinking for some time. I'm not sure what this is. Indecision Visualizer 3000. choose coffee, 80%, feel alert, 80%. I'm sure if I just continue to prompt, I'll get better results or maybe make something out of this because I don't know what this output is really. But having said that, I just wanted to cover this model, the new release from Qwen, and almost everyone is doing thinking models. So I guess this is Qwen's take on it. The thing about QwQ32B is that it can be run locally. It's open source. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to cover this model. If you would like to watch more content like this, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and let me know what you think about this model after trying it out in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.